Gavin, I'm so glad. Shout out to you, Cartoon 49. I'm really glad we got this question because I was desperate to get Gavin's reaction about this. We'll probably clip it and put it over on our film channel, Palm Dorks. You said, also, thoughts on new Rush Hour film by Paramount when Trump said he wanted it. I feel like that series has played it time. Also, something fishy. Well, there's definitely something fishy. The reality is that because Donald Trump allowed the Paramount merger to go through, Larry Ellison is going to scratch his back and be like, of course, I'll do this favor for you. But the real cherry on top for me, Gavin, is it's not just the franchise that they're bringing back, it's Brett Ratner, too.
Yeah, and that's the real reason this is happening. If you want to put that article up on screen, yeah, Rush Hour 4, which I don't think really anyone other than Trump apparently was asking for, is coming out. Admittedly, I've never seen the original Rush Hour movies. I'm perfectly open to hearing that they're fun films. But yeah, this is 100% about Brett Ratner, who was kicked out of Hollywood after facing some Me Too style allegations. I actually think he went to live in Israel for a little bit in the wake of that. I might be wrong, but I remember hearing that. And then I also think that Brett Ratner was behind the Melania documentary on Amazon. Or at least he was like a producer or something like that. But yeah, as it says there, Brett Ratner immigrates to Israel. Disgraced Hollywood director Brett Ratner. That's hilarious.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can just read a little bit of this. Rush Hour 4 is reportedly a go at Paramount. The studio will now release the next sequel by Brett Ratner. Ratner had shopped the latest franchise entry starring Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker around Hollywood for years without success, but then Trump lobbied for the film to his friend and backer Larry Ellison, the largest shareholder, yada, yada, yada. Settled the lawsuit with Trump over a critical CBS interview. Yeah, just pretty crazy the amount of control Donald Trump has over the American media landscape. His whimsy being catered to. And I think what's even more alarming is it's like, okay, it's relatively harmless. Like I've seen the first Rush Hour movie. It was on TV a lot when I was a kid. Last time I was in Los Angeles, I had Celeste to take a picture of me at one of the places that they filmed in Rush Hour. I actually, think it's a fun franchise. I like Jackie Chan. I think Chris Tucker's charismatic. They were a great dynamic duo. Did we ever need a fourth one? Of course not. But I think it really starts to create, an alarming environment when we're looking at, okay, this is Paramount. They're directly catering to the president. They're trying to buy Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is really expensive. So they're trying to bring in like Saudi and UAE money to do it. And you realize what they're doing is a quid pro quo here, where it's like they already got the Paramount merger. This is so they can do the next thing. And I think it signals that Donald Trump isn't going to block the Warner Brothers merger. If it goes through, he'll make sure that it goes off without a hitch. And this is just another, kickback to him to be like, hey, keep doing what we want and we'll keep doing what you want.
Yep. And I did confirm that the Melania documentary was Brett Ratner's first film since being canceled. So that makes it look even more like a quid pro quo. I'll direct this propaganda documentary for you and your wife. And then in return, you get me this deal to not only make the fourth Rush Hour movie, but basically as a pass back into Hollywood, like a get out of jail free card, which is crazy. And yeah, that, I mean, it also, like you said, I mean, regardless of what people think of the original movies, this is completely unnecessary and redundant. Kind of reminds me of the last Bad Boys they tried to do. And it was like, why are we still doing this? Like, come on, like, do we really need another fucking Bad Boys movie? But again, it's not my specifically favorite franchise. I like, the Godzilla film series, which has like 38 plus entries. So I guess I'm really not one to talk.
People are also speculating that it could have something to do with the fact that the Rush Hour films are really popular in China, that Paramount wants to go for it. But then that would also be kind of odd. Donald Trump, not, obviously, xenophobic and hawkish towards China, at least rhetorically, but maybe this is a way they thought they could have their cake and eat it too. Pretty interesting stuff. Yeah, and it comes as a result of Donald Trump's effort, The Guardian says, to reintroduce old-fashioned masculinity into Hollywood with appointing Sylvester Stallone, John Voight, and Mel Gibson unofficially to the special ambassadors of Hollywood.
Oh,
so
God.
apparently this is in that tradition as well. People are saying, didn't Chris Tucker fly on Epstein's plane? If he did, I don't. And I'm like a huge Chris Tucker fan. I just liked him in that movie Rush Hour. Jeez, I'm kidding.
That is funny. And yeah, I think of like old-fashioned Hollywood masculinity. I think of like Humphrey Bogart. not fucking the Rush Hour movies. Like again, no offense, I don't have anything against them, but it's just not really what comes to mind when I think of old school Hollywood masculinity.
Yeah, it's hilarious. So it kind of it also just also makes perfect sense that that would be Donald Trump's favorite movie. Like not very sophisticated, fun to watch. Each scene is just kind of its own contained deal, and then when that joke is over, it's like okay, moving on to the next thing where a wild stunt happens with Jackie Chan, and then when that's over, it's like reset and do the next thing. So for his lack of attention, he would probably still enjoy it.